Hi, my name is Shawn Lazarz, and this is 2019 KC Brick Lab at Brickworld. We're going to start it off right away with Sean Kelly's build of Kent Farm incorporated into a classic Midwest train city tornado. So we have your classic farmhouse with the cornfield right next to it. You're going to see a signature piece by Sean Kelly, which is he's known for his tree work. And you're going to notice right away in all the video that, of course, that's what we have here is plenty of tree work. We're going to start moving along here to his barn, which has some really interesting technique with the profile brick reversed and then put vertically. So you'll see it adds a lot of grain to the barn here, and it just provides so much detail. He's really good at roof and snot technique as well, so you'll notice the different curvatures of the roof that really make it pop and give you that classic feel that you're in the Midwest and you're standing in front of a nice big farm. We're going to move along to one of his new tree designs, and you'll notice right here, as we talked about earlier, that it's got some really groovy like roots popping out, and it looks really organic, and it looks like you could see this in a space design. Because it really does, and you're going to even notice that. So the tornado came through, it ripped the tree off the ground, and it still got some of its fresh wood from the top showing too. So you get that natural gray. A lot of people ask us, why do we go with gray instead of traditional brown? But when you look at a tree from a distance, it looks more gray, and then when it's cut open, it has that tan or brown inside. And that's why the roots are brown, because it's showing the core of it. And that's why the top is that tan color, because, again, it's showing that it's been ripped through. Seen.
That uprooted tree technique is amazing. I can't ever think of actually having seen something like that before, and I just love that.
Now, we also had some, so we had about six core members from our group build this, but we did have one additional guest member. So we had Aaron Fiscum, who's known for his spaceships, actually come over and do a scene from the movie Twister. And he did a scene where they're hanging from the pole as the tornado has come through. So it's a great little scene. It's definitely reminds you of the movie for the people that are looking for those little signature pieces that do remind you of the movie. We're going to go next to the beginning of most of the Twister movie, which was done by Jeremiah Bear, and he has the classic from the movie to spec drive-in movie theater. Now, this is unlike other drive-in movie theaters that have been done in the past. Drive-in movie theaters that have done in the past that we've seen at Brick Fair, Brickworld, have been done where they take like an iPad screen and they put it and encase it. This is an actual projector. So for people that are coming by for the light show tonight, you're going to actually be able to pull up a chair and watch the movie right next to the drive-in movie theater. We're going to come by his next piece, which is the classic diner. Now, it's the Rocket Diner. Now, if you look at the theme, it really worked out well because this year's Brickworld theme is space. And if you look at all the little pieces for the Twister movie, ironically, the theater or the colors of a rocket are in the drive-in. It's called the rocket for the diner. The galaxy is the drive-in, but everything's like space orientated, so it brings it all together. You're going to come up to the hangar next, which he did a really great technique of bending everything, and the gas stations. I mean, everything in here is so detailed that he really took. Now, we also added something that we made sure to add because it's something that you definitely see whenever you're in the Midwest. So we recently, about 3 weeks ago, had a tornado come through Kansas City, Kansas. And I'm coming home from work. My fiance is getting the animals into the basement because it's literally 5 miles away. And what are all my neighbors doing? They're doing exactly what this guy's doing. They got their selfie sticks out, and they're making sure they can catch the rear view of them. So once you've had a tornado come through a couple times, you're just out there with your cell phone. You're enjoying the nice breeze because it is really gorgeous when a tornado comes through, and it looks really beautiful from a distance. There's two different hues that you learn from a color aspect of a tornado of what you can actually be calm or concerned about. You'll see a blue hue, and that's when it's a distance and you know it's going away. But for some reason, when it changes direction and it's coming straight at you, it turns to a green hue. And when there's a green hue, you know that's when to get in. So all my neighbors were like, hey, they taught me this. They were like, if you see the green, you get in your basement. If you see the blue, get that phone out, get the lawn chair out, get a drink out, and enjoy the show.
I love it.
So we're going to come up so more into the design. We got the classic motel scene. So we have also got a couple of the classic signature trucks that are from the movie Twister. You'll see in some of the background right here, there's a really gorgeous trailer park done by Andrew Waters. And he got totally in detail. We have a couple of lawnmowers out there, which classic lawnmowers usually don't stay in the trailer park after a tornado's come through. So maybe tomorrow you'll be able to see a little bit of a change up where everything winds up somewhere else. We're going to go through just a classic downtown city. We know that in every aspect, there's always a city, there's always a rural town, there's always something going on. But again, during the tornado, cars are still actively on the road. So people were like, why are the cars on the road if there's a tornado literally about the equivalent of 15 miles away? Well, just like I told you earlier, I was coming home from work and there was a tornado 5 miles away from my house. I mean, so we treat it normal, and you just have to follow what the safety precautions are. So usually the cops will block off, or the state troopers will block off the highway if it's unsafe, or if you're going to drive into the tornado. So other than that, it was a really surprise that I didn't have to worry about that. So I did all the downtown city buildings, and I'm a classic castle guy, but when you have to come together and do something, it's really interesting to get creative and participate in something. And I do a homage to some of our past builds. So hidden in there is a homage to our scene from Rick and Morty last year. There's also a homage to our original scene from 3 years ago from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. So I basically remocked a build that was one of the studios and made it a smaller double-wide building. We had Stuart Kyler, who's a big train guy from Whizlug, help us out and put a train on here, because even if it's not a moving train, we felt like every rural Midwest area has a train in the background when there's a tornado going through. So we're going to go through the city.
I think you captured so many of the Midwest elements, like you said, so perfectly here with the different parts of the scene.
Yes. We had a buddy of mine who couldn't make it due to a job change, Nathan Schwabe. He did all the roads, which are pretty popular to get switched from the classic, just standard Lego release roads to the brick-built roads. And he did an alternative flip-flop with the grills in the front here, which is really great. It gives so much more detail. He also did the ballasted track for us. So I'm very thankful that he could step up, because when you have only a few people doing a giant collab build like this, the more people, the merrier, and the less jobs and the less building that you have to do as each other. So thank you, Nathan, for stepping up and doing that. He did register, but like I said, due to a job change, he wasn't able to make it, so that's unfortunate. Maybe we can get him here next year. We're going to follow up to the future path of the tornado. You're going to see a really gorgeous track of kids that are ignoring the tornado behind them.
I mean, it's go-karting. You can't.
Exactly. I mean, when you get that adrenaline rush, the go-kart plus the wind in the background, I mean, you're like, I don't care. I'm going to win this race. Today's my day. So you have a few cars in the back that have already stopped because they hear the warning. Slightly, you may be able to hear that we have the Kansas City tornado warning going on in the background, which we also occasionally do the tornado alarms. So while I run on my Bluetooth the tornado warning from Kansas City, we have another member, Andrew, who periodically every couple hours run a tornado siren, which we have behind the hangar in the back. So it'll run simultaneously. Now, unfortunately, this is not the full look of our product. Due to some concerns with the hotel, we had a completely built-in fog machine where it spit out fog from the base and the top. They had some fire code concerns, so we're unable to run that. But we are going to be prepared to get some dry ice in it and at least show the full look of it before the end of the show.
They clearly missed the message that you're supposed to just set up your lawn chair and enjoy the show.
Yes, exactly. But so we're just going to go back here and follow up the remainder of it with, again, we got the go-karts, we got a nice little ravine, we got the cows. Now, we're going to talk a little more now about the actual feature build of the display, and that is the tornado. So in the tornado, on the base, we actually have a Christmas tree stand rotator. Really basic. but it can hold, a Christmas tree stand is made to hold a significant weight because every year it has a Christmas tree on it and it rotates that Christmas tree. So we built a base that's on its own, and then we made sure we had a rotor and the Christmas tree stand, and then we went, and there's a lot of snot technique inside that. But we made sure we had a core inside that snot. So Sean Kelly did an amazing job. Now, we thought it would be completely funny, and it's great that it got nominated for Best Humor, is if we add classic scenes from every tornado or twister or hurricane movie we could think of. So we made sure we got a shark in there for Sharknado. We made sure we had a cow from the classic scene of the movie Twister of, hey, it's a cow. 5 minutes later, hey, it's another cow. No, I think it's the same cow. And then we got a crocodile in there because who doesn't have crocodiles in the Midwest? We have the Wicked Witch of the West in there. We're going to be adding some additional ones and changing it up. So that's the great thing is if you've come through and you've looked at the tornado and you're like, Mom, Dad, I got to show you this thing. And then they can't find it and they're like, but wait. Where'd the frog go? There was a frog in here yesterday. Where'd the wooden fence go? There's a white wooden fence and now there's a brown wooden fence. I don't get this. What's going on? So we're going to be changing out the different pieces to add that humor. So if you want to show something, come on over, take a look at it. Tomorrow it's going to be completely different. We got inspired last year by the Jerusalem scene. It was a progressive build, and he changed it every day. So we thought, what are we going to do that's going to surprise everybody? We're going to change our display in the middle of the show. We're going to completely move it, an entire table over, and everything is going to be destroyed because what happens after a tornado comes through, everything's destroyed. So we want to show you the before and after and do something that not many bigger lugs do. Like I said, you see it on usually a solo project, but you don't see a big lug come together and do a progressive build. So we wanted to change things up and add a little change.
It's a really great idea for sure, yeah, and I think it's so cool and we'll be able to see how it changes. So we'll definitely stop by tomorrow and get the updated build and see what you guys have done to it.
All right. We're about to go over day 2, and the tornado has struck. We start off right away where you see a random baby billboard piece in a tree. Where could that have come from? And because we're not so much into death and despair, we have animals and figs on top of trees waving at you. So... you're going to notice that the path has destroyed the grass in the ground. You're going to see actually a tree that, just like when a tree is destroyed, you see the actual core light color, and you see pretty much it coming apart. You will also notice as we go around that some of the figs out of the displays have, where the tornado has already hit, have ran from their spot, and others are still running because they're in that crazy mode. But of course, it's the best opportunity for little kids to eat their candy and get as close to the screen as they can.
You gotta have your priorities in life.
Yes. So you'll also notice that we didn't leave anything out. So the storm chasers are now in their vehicles, gung-ho and driving towards the tornado. So those are also from the movie Twister. And you'll also notice that the Galaxy sign and the vehicle is in the, I don't know, it is...
hangar type building.
Yes. Thank you. I had a brain fart there. It came through the trailer park as it would. And a couple of them had picked the best lots because they didn't get touched. But a couple of them didn't have the quite luck. You will notice that as we go around that some of the builds got completely destroyed because they are now in that wind path of the tornado. And the tornado itself has picked up quite the amount of debris. So yesterday you noticed there was some slight debris, and we had some humorous stuff like the shark and the cow. But now it looks like there's some kids hanging on their swing toy. We've got more pieces of the billboard. We've got more cows. We got the Wicked Witch of the West. We have a trailer that is up for the ride. And there's other few unique pieces.
I love the boat. The boat might be my favorite. It's just angled perfectly.
Yes. So, and you will notice there's actually a fun part. So what happens when you know you're going to hit your departure because you got sucked up into a tornado while you were previously riding on a go-kart? Well, you're going to get your selfie stick out and take a picture of yourself. So, because, hey, if you're going down, at least your YouTube channel is going to go up.
You know it.
So.
And what do we have as we come around to the main city portion?
So again, we just we relapsed in areas. So some areas have not touched, been all because it's not even in the path of the tornado. So people are still just kind of hanging out like it's no big deal. One of the things you notice, as I talked about yesterday, is people really, if you're not in the path, they go about their business. Even if you can see the tornado from 5 miles away, you still go about your business. You're still in your car driving around. You're still hanging out, getting that nice warm weather with a nice breeze. So, yeah, but people that are in the direct path, those are the ones that are going crazy.
We do have some destruction down here.
Yes. So, yeah, because it's directly affected from the tornado. So it's right there. So the strong winds are hitting a couple buildings right now. So we have where the wind just happens to hit it just right, and it knocked off part of it. And then, of course, the commemorative billboard has been completely taken out and shoved into a building. And what can't we say with the lack of the fact that lawnmowers go everywhere during a tornado? So we have a lawnmower in a tree somewhere, we have a lawnmower in the tornado, and we have a lawnmower on the building. So we're also... The back of this gray building on the end, actually, you'll see that pieces are getting peeled off and destroyed. So whereas yesterday it was, a perfectly clean building. So as the powerful winds come closer, the pieces get peeled off more. So, and that pretty much sums up our progressive build for day 2 of Brickworld Chicago.
Yeah, I love what you did with the layout. So talk about the process of kind of changing it up and kind of how you guys were able to do that.
So we had planned ahead that we would make the 3 tables in the middle actually not attached or bolted in. So, and we wanted to make sure that we progressively did it. So the fact that we had an alternate build for the table that flip-flopped. So we still have the previous build where the tornado was, which was a go-kart track, but we had to build on site the remnants of the go-kart track because on the previous day, there was no go-kart track in the place where the tornado was the previous day. And then we had to also, on the makeshift build, make sure it looked like the grass got completely ripped out and that there was an actual path from the tornado. So, and then just playing the part from the different ends of the corners that it hit. So the cow field was hit, and then, of course, the trailer park was hit. So.
I love the destruction in the middle there. I think you captured that very nicely.
Thank you. It's all about the detail. So, and tires go everywhere.
Exactly. Well, I think both days turned out fantastic, so I'm glad you were able to update it and keep it fresh and interesting here. Thanks for all the effort you put in, and thanks for taking us around.
Really appreciate it. Thank you guys for coming by.